Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Anybody that's new, welcome. So I decided to do some Easter minis, figurines. I've played around with a few blocks, so I have come up with a duck and a rabbit. I did two bigger size rabbits last year, and I think the year before I did two. But I wanted to make little ones, so you don't need many blocks for this. We're gonna start off with a little duck. I've also did a duck before. I think it was about a year and a half ago, and it's also bigger. These ones are not going to be as big. They're just going to be mini ones for Easter. The duck is going to be 71 blocks. We are going to use the tumbling tower blocks, aka Jenga, from Dollar Tree. You can find them in the kids section. Now, I'm in Canada. We can't order online. If you can't find the blocks in your store and you are in the US, apparently many crafters have ordered online from dollartree.com, and you can get free shipping to your local stores. Now, a few crafters said that they can't get them delivered, that they need a case. Some say you have to order a minimum of 3. You just have to find out if you can't find them in your store. Maybe you could ask a manager to give you a call. Sometimes managers are really good at Dollar Tree and will give you a ring maybe when they get some back in stock, because I know they do go fast. I am going to use Wellbon. I buy it at Rona/Lowe's. You can buy it at Hobby Lobby. I prefer this one. I know Dollar Tree US does sell wood glue. Just make sure you use wood glue and you don't use hot glue, because the blocks will not seal properly together and they will fall apart eventually. Now, I always, working with blocks, I use my L-shaped ruler, carpenter ruler from Dollar Tree. You find it in the hardware section. The best thing to do is when you're gluing the blocks, I do always mind pre-glue my designs, just so my videos are not super long. When you are gluing them together, and say you have an area like a mat like I do, using the ruler, and when you glue them, I always find if we're doing, say, 3 like this, and you can just move it up, make sure it's straight, and you can just keep doing that. I'd also get a pen and paper, is always good. I write them down, obviously, when I'm recording to tell you the numbers. But I always just find, because sometimes I do go a little fast, just writing them down, putting like head, neck, body, legs, putting a little bit, a number beside them, just so that you don't get lost. Also, if I do go too fast or you get stuck with any of my projects, you're more than welcome to send me a message on my Crafty Shopper, the Crafty Shopper Facebook page I have. And you can send me a PM. I'm more visual, so if you send me a picture and you're stuck, I can help you from there. And if you have any questions, you can also leave a comment below. You can't send pictures on here, but you can send me pictures on my Facebook page. Now we're going to be starting with the head, and we're going to be gluing them flat ways, not like this, flat down. We are going to switch the block sideways, but I will get to that. So the head is going to be, you're going to need 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to need 5 of these. We're going to glue them in sections as well. So you're just going to put the 5 like that. And you are going to glue that section together. So I'm just going to put that one right here. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. The next thing we are going to do is the neck, and we are going to glue them sideways like this. And I always call this stacked, just one on top of each other. You're going to need 3, and you're going to need 2 of them. And we're going to put that there, but we're just going to glue this piece together. We're not going to glue each body part on just yet. The next thing we are going to do is the bill, and you're going to do 2 blocks stacked, one on top of each other, and another one on top of each other. You're going to glue those just like that, 4 and right here, but we're not gluing it on, just we're doing the pieces because we want that right in the middle. So we're just doing it in sections. So I'm just going to pull it so you guys. Now the body. We're back to lying the blocks flat. And we're going to start off with 4. Next row is 7. Next row is 7. Next row is 7. Next row is 6, 5, and 4. Now, how you see them placed, don't glue them to the neck just yet, but you want it to have like a stair effect. And you just want one on the back here, so then you can see also here too. So it gives it a shape. But you're just going to glue that section together. Now we're going to start with the bill. So there's 4 blocks here. The head is 15. The neck is 6 blocks. 4, 7, 7, 7, 6, 5, 4. Then we're going to do the legs. The legs altogether is 6 blocks, 3 on each leg. You're going to have 1 upright like this. Oh, sorry. 2. And then you're going to glue it right underneath like that. And you're going to need another leg, the exact same position. And you're going to glue it just like that. So let's get these body parts glued together. We are not putting the head, like I said, we're not gluing the whole body together, just the sections. All right, now that I let it glue, just make sure you check your glue bottle and see what the drying time is. I think it's been about 4 hours now, and it seems to be workable and it's not going to break off. Now, before we glue the head on and the legs, I'll show you how to position it. We are going to paint it first because it's always nice when you paint it and then you add it so you don't get any little paint marks like similar to I did to the lighthouse. Now I'm going to do the filing of the corners. I have a Dremel pen. You don't have to have one. I just find, obviously, if you've been on my channel or you're new to my channel, I work with a lot of Jenga blocks. So I like to make little round corners. I know Christine likes the blocky look, like the Minecraft look, the more squared look. I like it when on some of them that I like to file the edges. Now you could use a coarse nail file from DT, which is in the beauty section. There's a buffer in the crafting section, and then there's a big block that you can find in the hardware section. And all you're going to do is you're going to round the corners more all the way around. I'm going to try to work, I guess elbow grease is a saying we say here in Canada, a little bit of elbow grease, meaning I'm going to work really hard to get the lines to be a little bit, take the lines out, sorry, to be more rounded around the head and especially on the bill of the duck and the rest of the body, anywhere you can add it. Don't do the ends where you glue them, meaning the flat part here which connects to the body, because it's going to be needed to be flat instead of rounded. The same thing from the top. You can do the sides of the blocks around the neck, but not at the top where it glues on. And the same thing with the bill. Keep the one side flat and work more around the edges here. And the same with the body all the way around. Feet, the same thing. Don't touch the part where you're going to glue it on, and do it around there as well. Once I do finish filing them, I am going to paint them. I am going to use the DT Pumpkin Orange. These are the only 2 colors that I have. I don't have another orange. And I'm going to do the bill and the legs in orange, and the head, the neck, and the body in vivid yellow. I'm not sure if I'm liking this yellow yet, but I guess I'm going to find out. So let me get these filed down and then I'll paint them. Now that I have all the pieces painted, now it did take the yellow, took an extra coat than the orange, only because you're trying to cover the blocks. So I think it was like 5 coats, and good thing it was small. But the first part we're going to glue is the beak, the bill, right on top of the head. And you're just gonna wanna leave a little bit of space in the bottom. And that's, excuse me, that's the first piece that we're gonna glue on. Now that I got the bill, the beak glued on, we need the neck to it. So we're just gonna put it right in the middle, and you're gonna wanna glue it on. So until we get on the body, we'll do the body and the feet, but we're gonna glue this part on and let it sit for a bit before we glue it on to the rest of the body. All right, now that I have the neck glued on, we are gonna put some eyes. I am just gonna use some googly eyes. I'm not a fan of them, but I'm gonna use some googly eyes. I was gonna do buttons, but I did buttons on the other one. So I'm just gonna place his eyes. I'm just gonna hot glue these on. Once I get these hot glued on, now it depends on what your preference is. You can glue it just straight like that. Reason we're taking step-by-step gluing it is just because you're gonna have to balance after on the legs. I'm gonna have it twisted, so back corner right here to the back, and just like that on an angle. So I am gonna use Well Bond, like I said. With these little parts, I would suggest Well Bond, then hot glue, because it doesn't seal properly, but that's how I'm gonna glue it on once I get the googly eyes glued on. Okay, now we're gonna wanna place the duck on the feet. We're just gonna kind of move, as you can see, the feet just kind of on an angle. Now it's gonna need to be at the very front of the duck. And you're gonna have to, so see, it's heavy forward. Gotta move them forward like that. I like that look. I like exactly like that. So you just position the feet first and find out where the balance is, and then just lift it off, put some glue on top of each foot, and then just put it right back on. Now that I glued the legs on, I got the little dog collars you can get from DT, just little bows. I end up just cutting with the little knife, the little backing off it. I'm gonna put it right here underneath his bill, on his neck, just to add a little bit of color. DT has these little flowers. Now feathers. If you want to, I'm just gonna show you here. I pulled some of the feathers out. You can actually just add a couple feathers if you want to add for its wing on each side. I did take, this one was really fluffy, and I'm just gonna take a few little pieces, and just because his head is a little bit square, I just want to add a little bit of hot glue, but make it a little bit pointy on top. And you just have to grab 2 stems and a dab of hot glue, and then putting it just upright like that. I think it would look super cute. I'm gonna get that done, and then we'll move on to the next DIY. All right, so I did actually end up putting on some feathers on the side, just for looking like they're a little bit wings, and I like the top. I think he turned out super cute. Now we're gonna move on to the little bunny. We're gonna try this one out, since I'm used to making them so big. So this one's gonna be 89 blocks. We are gonna start with the head. It's good to, like I said earlier at the beginning of the duck, is to write it down. The body's gonna be a little bit different, going different directions. So the top one, you're gonna need 3, and these ones are all lying flat. They're not stacked, they're flat. So 3, 4, 4, another 4, and one more 4, and 3. So the head has 18 blocks. The neck will have 2 pieces, and they're also flat. Now the top part of the body, this one is stacked one right on top of each other, and it's 7, and you're just gonna kind of go around like this. Next one's 8, stacked as well. This one's flat and it's 5. Next one's stacked is 10. Stacked again, 11. Stacked, 12. Stacked again, 11. And flat, 5. Now we're just going to glue all this together. I am going to do, I am just going to glue it right, and you're going to use Well Bond. Like I always say, don't use hot glue unless it's just gluing pieces on. And let's get this glued together. All right, so when I put it together, I have played on one side of it. I was gonna just wrap it with fur or just paint it white. And those of you that have followed me and have done different things with the blocks with putting hot glue in it, my barn shelf, I actually used the spackling. Now, I got this, my DT doesn't sell it. I know I've seen a lot of groups, people doing the desserts with the spackles. I think this is the stuff, the spackling, I think is what I see them use on some of the cupcakes, etc., or cakes, whatever they make. I had this just for hole fillers, so holes in my walls that you fill. I think this costs like $2.99, $3, something like that. I've had it forever, and so this was my test. So before I was gonna come on, I wanted to try it. Now, it does take a while to dry. I did stick it by the register. Now, I just filled it, and I am going to show you the other side. I've already done this, except there's a couple spots that I just redid. Super easy. But as you can see, it's more rounded. So let's start with the head over here. It's kind of like, you know, when I was doing it, kind of reminded me of painting a cupcake or a cake, something like that. Now, I got a super sharp knife. DT sells those little putty knives. I think there's a pack of 3 and they're white. I have some, but I don't know where they are. So it's just putting it on the corners. And I don't make cupcakes, guys, so this is kind of new for me, but I really like it, and held up really good on the barn. And I was just checking that out. I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to try this, because I always like to try something new with Jenga blocks. Like, this is a game changer. This could possibly be different ideas for different things. All right, I'm just going to show you. And also I did, and I'm going to show you in a second. It's like smoothing out a cake. If you're really good with putting icing, I don't do baking, so it's kind of a new thing for me. Because it is a thick layer, I would, like I said, a couple hours over that register, even overnight. But I wanted to try it. Like, you don't have to, if you wrap fur around it, you are not going to see the edges. I just wanted to try something different. And I'm not going to put fur on this one. I am going to just try to paint it because it worked really well on the barn. So I wanted to give this a whirl with a little bit more than just doing the top edge. So as you can see there, and you just keep going down the sides. Now I did put a little bit much here, but it's still, and then you just take a buffer from DT and lightly sand it when it's dry. We're gonna see what it turns out like anyways. And also the front, as you can see here, you know when you're doing the blocks and sometimes there's little holes because the blocks are not all evenly squared off, and you all know that, but also too, it just is a nice filler for the blocks. I don't know, I'm pretty impressed with that. So I am just gonna finish off this side before we move on to the next step. So now I let it dry overnight and it came out pretty good. It's pretty smooth. I did want to try, like I said, you don't have to do this. This is just a trial and error when I was doing it, just because I worked on the barn instead of filing it down. I just really wanted to see if it worked out. Now, once you sand it off, I always find I have this little brush, and I find it works with a lot of the crafts when you need to dust anything off, especially when you're doing some filing or buffing on the blocks. Now, I was just gonna straight away paint it white, but I think I'm just gonna put a coat of Mod Podge, just the matte one, just to seal all the spackle on it, and then give it a coat of white. I did want to show you, they have these little cups, and I find if you're gonna be doing a few coats of something when you're pouring your paint, these are just little clear cups that you can get at DT. It's for like salads, and they come with lids. And this is still from my other project that I just did. And I still find that it still works really good instead of pouring it out and always washing your container. Eventually I will have to do that, but they're just good to seal them when you're doing a couple coats on something so you're not wasting paint. So let me give it a coat of the Mod Podge and then a coat of white. All right, so I did give it 3 coats of paint. With white, I always find you're gonna see a lot of the imperfections, but I did wanna try it out and just do a little experiment to show you. There is still a little bit of cracks that you can see. Now you can do this way if you want. You can leave it blocky. You don't have to put the spackle hole filler on it. I just wanted to try it out just for an experiment and share it with you guys, like I said. But I'm just gonna wrap it with some white fur. I wanna do a back view, so I don't wanna do the front of the bunny, more like the bunny butt from the back view. So I do have this fun fur, and any of you that is in Canada, it is the fun fur from Dollarama. Maybe my American crafters, you guys can all, I'm not sure if you guys find this maybe in Dollar General or maybe your Dollar Tree Plus stores have it. I just really like this fur because it's super cheap and you get a lot of it. I'll just show you here. It comes in this big ball, and this is my second ball that I bought, but there's like 53 meters on it. So especially for crafting, I just find, and it's $4, I find it just works really great. It comes in a couple different colors. So I'm just gonna hot glue it starting on a corner and just keep gluing it and wrapping it all the way around. I am gonna stop at the top and just leave this part open so then we can do the ears. Now that I wrapped all the fun fur around and hot glued it on, left the top open. Now, if you're just gonna use the fur and you don't have to do what I did. Like I said, the spackle was just a test run, just to spare an experiment to see what it would look like. But I do suggest painting the blocks before you put the fun fur so you don't have any, how can I show you here? I'm just gonna grab. So you don't see any spots through, for example, that it's white. So I do suggest painting it. You don't have to do the rest. I just wanted to make this one easy, but like I said, I wanted to show you the experiment. Now for the ears, just foam board, I just traced out freehand. You could do ears like this, just wrap the fun fur on it, glue them right on top. Obviously you're gonna add some more fur on there, but I wanted to leave space. You can glue them like that. I'm going to try something a little different. My other 2 Jenga block bigger builds of the rabbits, I did both ears like this, but I just did one, and I had a little boo-boo there, but I just freehand, just one ear hanging down. I am just going to do the fun fur. I'm not going to wrap it. I was thinking about wrapping it, but I think I'm just going to, let me see here. I'm just gonna do some hot glue. I'm not gonna show you because it's gonna get stick all over me. The hot glue and just back and forth weaving it in all the way around. I think that's gonna look better. And then just doing the outline here. I think if I start wrapping it, and I'm just gonna show you, I think it's gonna be too thick on the ears. It might not. But even if I do the front, I will do the back. Actually, it won't be too bad. It's up to your discretion. Just keep the bottom open so that you can glue it right on top, and then you can add the more fur on both sides. That it will, I know it looks kind of silly now, but it's gonna look cute. Let me get that done, and then we're gonna move on to the butt. Now that I finished just wrapping it around and hot gluing it, I found right here was really too thick of fur. So you can just take some scissors and just trim it like I did. And I just trimmed it a little bit here just to give it more definition on the ears. it will just be attached, hot glued right in the middle. Once you hot glue it, you just add some more fur on both sides. So I finished off with the bunny. I think it looks super good. So I am gonna do the back look of it with the butt and that. But if you want to make a face on it, you could also do that. I'm just gonna give you some ideas here. I have these little googly eyes. I said, I'm just gonna give you guys ideas now. These little googly eyes here. DT has these little pom-pom. Oh, this is not from DT, it's from another store, but DT does sell the pom-poms. Those are from Dollarama. And something like this, maybe the nose would be a little bit smaller. And you can put some whiskers. That's if you want to put a face on it. Now, I'm just going to take I have a half of a styrofoam ball. I already did one on the side. Just going to wrap it all the way around, hot glue in a circle until you get all the way up to the top. I did that already, so you can see here. I'm just going to glue it on right there. The next thing I'm going to do is just add a piece of DT buffalo plaid ribbon. I'm going to use that just because it matches similar to the duck. I'm just going to give it a little necktie here. I'm just going to keep it in the back. I just did 2 little bows, just a piece of black ribbon and the buffalo plaid, and just going to put it right there. Something cute and simple to do. Like I said, though, if you wanted to put a face on it, you could do that as well. I'm going to get these glued on, and then I'm going to turn the camera around and show you them upright. All right, so this is what they look like when they're sitting upright and beside each other. The duck is just 8 inches tall, right to the top of his head, and the bunny is 10.5 inches. You got to remember too that the ears are a lot longer on top, so it just depends on how big that you cut the ears. I think they turned out super cute. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the wonderful comments. Happy crafting, and see you soon. Bye.